Hello, this is John Paval with Access Arts Live, bringing you this weekend, March 7th till 9th, top selection of the absolute best live streams that we could find for you, in my humble opinion. That is the top orchestra live stream, the top operatic live stream, the top chamber music live stream, and the top organ recital. I told you I might be back Friday evening here in Europe to bring you this, and here I am. So if you're here, fine, let's have a good time. Okay. Before we get started, let me remind you, if you're watching this on Facebook, like the video, and we will then send you an invitation to follow us. So if you're watching on Facebook, like the video. If you're watching us on any of our other platforms, which would be X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube, don't just like the video, subscribe to Access Arts Live. And in return, we promise you, you will get the live links to more than 1,000 live performances online in 2025. How about that? I mean, how can you refuse an offer like that? Anyway, let's get right to what we have for you this weekend. We've already told you earlier in the week about everything that's going on, so I'm not going to repeat everything that's going on. And there's so much going on now, there isn't time for me anymore. So what do I have to do? Well, for the weekend highlights, I just have to give you the top ones we could find for you. And if you're looking for more than that, we have already done weekly roundups of all the chamber music, all the orchestral works, all the operatic stuff, all the organ recitals. So you can just go to our web pages on our 6 different platforms and find that. So let's get started, because the first of these top live streams is happening in just about an hour and a half. What happens when you bring together a jazz playing conductor and a jazz playing pianist to play Gershwin's piano concerto? Well, you can find out Friday, March 7th at 8 o'clock European time with the Frankfurt Radio Symphony's live stream. The conductor is Patrick Hahn, who, in addition to being a conductor in Wuppertal, Germany, is an award-winning jazz pianist. And we're also told a chansonnier, which is a kind of French crooner. Although French people might object to that English word. The pianist is Jack Dupree, who is bringing along his jazz trio, the Jack Dupree trio for the event. So who knows what's going to happen with that Gershwin piano concerto, but it'll be wild, I guarantee you, and I'm sure they'll be on the same wavelength because they're both guys who are into jazz. And it's an all-American evening where the orchestra will also play Bernstein's overture to Candide, Charles Ives' Three Places in New England, and Duke Ellington's Harlem. And although the program does not say this, I find it hard to believe that Jack Dupree and his trio don't also join in on this Duke Ellington piece. So anyway, this is, I believe, in my humble opinion, the top orchestral live stream this weekend. And I can do what I forgot to do, slow down here, calm myself down, give you a picture of Patrick Hahn and the Frank Dupree trio. Now, I say this without wanting to take anything away from what will also be what I think will be a really fine concert on Saturday. And so I just want to tell you a little bit about that. That's with the Detroit Symphony Orchestra. That's the also ran for this weekend. Saturday, March 8th, the delightful Tabita Lindbergh conducts the Detroit Symphony Orchestra, live streaming Lucas von Dracek in Beethoven's Emperor Concerto and Mussorgsky's ever-popular Pictures at an Exhibition, arranged for orchestra by Maurice Ravel. That's at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 5 o'clock in the evening on the West Coast, 2 o'clock in the morning here in Europe, and noon Sunday morning, Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And, well, why do I say this is a close second? Well, because this is the kind of 1-2 punch with a very classical piece, Beethoven's Emperor Concerto, and then a very popular piece, the Pictures at an Exhibition by Mussorgsky, which makes for a great evening, no matter whether your taste is more high class or more popular. And Norwegian Tabita Berglund is one of these exciting young women conductors who are taking the orchestral world by storm. She signed on for 4 years as principal guest conductor with the DSO, and she'll be doing the same thing with the Cologne Philharmonic starting next year. And Lucas von Dracic is exactly the kind of experienced hand that you want to do justice to the Emperor Concerto. He's been around for 20 years playing with top orchestras, so he knows what he's doing. Anyway, so that covers our top orchestral live stream this weekend. But we are not by any means done with the top live streams to enjoy this weekend. So let's take a look at the next one. Yeah. Okay. The next one is for all you opera and ballet lovers. What I think is your best offer this weekend. Maybe nobody knows how to throw a classier opera and ballet gala than the Mariinsky Theater's elite Stradiverius Ensemble. They're live streaming a surprise concert this Saturday, March 8th at 7 o'clock Moscow time. Now, that'll be a little earlier in the evening. In Europe, it's 5 in the evening. It's 11 in the morning on the East Coast, 8 in the morning on the West Coast, which might be a little early for an opera gala, but you never know. And the program includes works by Rossini, Puccini, Brahms, Tchaikovsky, Khachaturian, Offenbach, Lehar. So there's operetta in there, Strauss and waltzes and Verdi. I can show you they have 2 soloists. They have a soprano and a tenor soloist. Where are their pictures here? There they are. Anyway, that lovely soprano is Inara Kozlovskaya, and she was just named a soloist with Mariinsky only a few years ago, in 2022. And the tenor, Sergei Skorokodov, he's had a much longer tenure with the ensemble, so he's the steady hand here. But I'm sure they will both do justice to the various arias and operetta arias they'll be singing. They'll also be joined by ballet dancers from the Mariinsky Theater Company's ballet troupe. So this has everything in it. And going back to the Stradivarius ensemble itself, I have a little voice that keeps speaking up inside of my computer, and I don't know why. So, I don't know if you're hearing it. And I'm so busy talking, I hardly hear it. I just know that it's there. Here's a picture of the Mariinsky Stradivari ensemble again. Now, I put it back up there because you see that very exuberant conductor. That's the violinist Lorenz Nasturik Herzovici. And he's a very exuberant kind of guy. This is a gala evening. This is like, the aim is to be as intoxicating as the champagne which goes with such occasions. And if you're an opera or ballet lover, well, why not imbibe? I would also mention the Stradivarius ensemble is called that because they only play the finest instruments, like Amati, Stradivari, Guarneri, Guadagnini, and so forth. So this is high quality ensemble that you're going to be hearing. So I commend that to you as the best you're going to get this weekend of opera. You know, there's a lot of other opera going on this weekend at La Scala. The opera streaming people represent 6 different regional operas in Italy and opera houses across Europe. And they're just not offering you what they're doing on live streams this week, which I think is, I think it's too bad. And I think it's a mistake on their part. Okay, let's move on then. Now that we have covered the operatic and the orchestral, we move on to chamber music. Well, when it comes to chamber music this weekend, there are several quality live streams. But I think the most interesting and musical and melodic in terms of modern musical taste will be from March Vivo on Saturday. And there's a photo of the pianist who will be in that live stream. The acclaimed pianist Marta Zabaleta graces the stage of March Vivo's live stream from Madrid on Saturday, March 8th at noon, European time, playing 19th and 20th century Spanish pieces which evoke the Iberian landscapes. Hold on just a moment. I think what I have here is a loudspeaker that keeps announcing that it's not going to work. So it's best to just take it off the board. What I like about this live stream is, first of all, this is the second session in a series. March Vivo likes to put on series on themes, and this series is entitled Iberian Landscapes. And Zabaletas will be playing music by two men who were both born in the 1800s, lived into the 20th century, Jose Antonio de Donostia and Isaac Albeniz, whom you may have heard of. And then some more modern selections by Laura Vega and Gabriel Ecoreca, who are both contemporary composers. And Zabaleta is one of the top international pianists coming out of Spain. And she has a discography which suggests that she has an intimate familiarity with and passion for the music of her country. So when it comes to musicality and coherence in the program and the quality of the pianist, this just strikes me as the best you're going to get this weekend. It's at noon European time, and the times are not helpful for Americans. 6 in the morning on the East Coast, 3 o'clock in the morning Pacific Standard Time. But if you're up late on Friday night, you can tune into it. And it's at a lovely time for those down under in Australia, 10 p.m. in the evening. So I recommend that to you. Now, I don't mean to downplay the other live streams. The Flor Galante is being live streamed by March Vivo on Sunday at the same time. And they take you back to the early music of the court of Frederick of Prussia in the 1700s. And then later in the day, the Rautillo Trio is playing Beethoven and Schubert for St. Mary's Perryval's usual Sunday afternoon live stream in London. But neither of those selections strike me as being as enjoyable or pleasurable as this Zabaleta concert. But people with other tastes may have other views about it. But that's mine, okay? So that's what we call the best of the chamber music live streams this weekend. Now, what does that leave us with? Well, it leaves us with two other categories we can really talk about, because when it comes to chamber music, there's a separate category of contemporary compositions in chamber music, and they're not everybody's cup of tea. Some of it's way out there, and I take nothing away from a group live stream outlets like Constellation Chicago and Composers Concordance, which are doing things with electronic music and crossing the boundaries of different genres and just using sounds of all kinds. So they're way out there, and it can be delightful. It's what I call now music. But this group here that I'm showing you the photo of, the Anzû Quartet, may be a way in which people who like classical music can find a way into this more now music. The Anzû Quartet plays chamber music, which is about as contemporary as it can be and still be chamber music, in a live stream from Roulette Intermedium Theater in New York City this Sunday, March 9th, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That'll be 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the West Coast, 1 in the morning, late night here in Europe, and 11 o'clock Monday morning down under in Australia. It's on YouTube. It's free of charge, like all of these other things. Why do I think this is the best? Well, because the Anzû Quartet uses a classic format. It's violin, cello, clarinet, and piano. It's based on Messiaen's Quartet for the End of Time, Quatuor pour la fin du temps. And so as new as the music may be, it's still employing a format which is familiar to classic chamber music lovers, which is different from electronic music and sounds and computers and noisemakers. And Anzû exists not just to play this music, but also to commission new or now music in this format of their quartet. And that is what they'll play this Sunday. It's new works by Anna Weber, Mario Diaz de Leon, and Ryan Carter. So if you're a now music enthusiast, you can really enjoy this. And if you're a chamber music enthusiast, why not go along for the ride? Okay. Well, I don't know what else to tell you about that. Okay, and then we have one more to tell you about this weekend. One more live stream, which we think is the best of those that are available, and that's organ recitals. We do roundups of all of this. We do roundups of orchestras and operatic stuff, and then chamber music, and etc. And so this is the last category. Now, this weekend there are several organ recitals and concerts from Paris, and the great one every week at St. Eustache Church. From Tom Scout in Siberia, they're doing one with opera arias mixed in with the organ. But we have to say that the top organ recital this week is the Eccles Organ Festival's last monthly recital for this season's festival. The very accomplished organist John Challenger from Salisbury Cathedral in the UK will mount the organ at the Cathedral of the Madeleine for the Eccles Organ Festival's live stream Sunday, March 9th, playing extended selections by Jehan Alain, Rachel Lauren, and Healy Whelan, among others. That'll be at 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. So now this one is convenient for the people in the US and not so convenient for those in Europe, which will be 10 o'clock on the East Coast, which means it's 4 o'clock in the morning here in Europe. And I think we had that time wrong in the listing that we printed out. So we'll have to have it corrected, guys. And 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday afternoon, down under in Australia. John Challenger is a British organist and recording artist, been the assistant director of music at Salisbury Cathedral since 2012. Apparently, he loves being the AD. He doesn't feel that he needs to be the head AD himself. And more power to him. He's been busy doing other things, including he's got 4 critically acclaimed solo recordings on the organ of the Salisbury Cathedral. And these include music by Elgar, by César Franck, and last year, his own organ arrangement of Gustav Holst's The Planets. So this guy sounds great. And besides the people I've already mentioned that he's playing, he'll also play selections from Couperin, Bach, Germain Taillefer, and Gaston Litaiz. Because these monthly organ recitals from Eccles Organ Festival, they're more expansive and elaborate than the usual weekly organ recitals. So when there is one available, if you love organ recitals, well, you don't want to miss it. And I think he'll do a great job, given what his discography and experience have already proven. Well, that's what we have for you. For this week, for our recommendations of what are the top live streams. There's a lot more, and we may end up putting out individual short clips about other live streams that are going on this weekend. But I did want to take some time with you before the weekend launches to let you know, because I spend so much time going over these materials, really, what are the top live streams for this weekend to simplify everything for you. And those 5, I think, are the top ones. And let me just go back over them very briefly for you. It's the Frankfurt Radio Symphony this evening at 8 o'clock Central European Time, 2 o'clock on the East Coast, etc. Playing American-style music, conducted and played by very jazz-oriented conductor and pianist. Not to take nothing away from the Detroit Symphony Orchestra, tomorrow at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S., doing the Emperor Concerto in Pictures at an Exhibition, which to me is a lovely concert selection. Then the top operatic live stream this weekend, I think, is the Mariinsky Stradiverius Ensemble's gala production, a kind of champagne party that they offer you Saturday at 7 o'clock Moscow time, 5 o'clock on the East Coast, etc. And then for the best chamber music, I would say classic chamber music, it's March Vivo's Iberian Landscapes with Marta Zabaleta, Saturday at noon European time. And then if you want to venture into the now music, it's Roulette Intermedium's live stream of the Anzû Quartet, Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in New York City. I think that will be a great concert to enjoy. And then finally, you can end your weekend with a very interesting and extensive organ recital. John Challenger at the Eccles Organ Festival recital at 8 o'clock in the evening, Mountain Standard Time, which will be way too late for those of you who are in Europe, but it's a lovely time for those of you anywhere in the United States. That's what we have for you for this weekend. Remember, if you're watching this on Facebook, click on the like the video button. If you're watching on YouTube, click on subscribe. And if you're watching on our 4 other platforms where we appear, don't just like the video, please. Like us. Subscribe to or follow Access Arts Live on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Threads. And in return, we promise you will get the live links to more than 1,000 live performances online in 2025. Have a great weekend. Ciao for now. And I hope that one or more or any of these live streams inspires you, uplifts you, or just shows you a heck of a good time.